What's up? It's Friday night. Week 8 is here. Byemageddon, 6 teams on bye. And I know you, like many, are asking, who the heck do I start this week? So we're here for you. Q&A show Friday night. Let's get What's up, everybody? Friday night. I got a crew in the house. I got Joe always riding with me. Brendan, thanks for tuning in. Poor Philly. And of course, Dan in the house, our game props master, I hear. So we're glad to have a good crew in the house. We're here to answer your fantasy football questions. As you guys know, this is our Q&A show. So start dropping them in the chat, and we will try to get to them as soon as we can. And really we had some pop in right before the show. So we'll go ahead and hit it off, guys. How y'all feeling tonight?
I'm doing good, man. Doing really good. Happy to be here. Thanks for having us, man.
Yeah, it's great. A pleasure. Dan, favorite game of the week?
Favorite game of the week is going to be the Falcons at -7.5. That is my favorite game of the week.
All right. Dude, the Falcons got a sneaky good defense. Like the front six. It's going to be a good one. Joe.
Hold on, before you say that, because I'm in on this Falcons 7.5. Does that change at all if Kirk Cousins starts?
It does not for me. I mean, I think the Falcons at home is the key here, right? They looked so bad last week, and now they get to go back, and they're playing in a dome, so their numbers have been insane when they play in a dome.
Well, good. Hopefully that's a good one for me. Matthias and already in the chat. Hey, appreciate you always here for a good troll. This week was confirmed that what I already knew, people don't know ball. Hey, look, it's true. Some people don't, some people do, but we're here to try to help as much as we can. Can't promise perfection, but we'll at least give you educated takes. All right, so we got Tryhard 0012 in the chat. Glad the show is live. I need help. I don't know if you guys saw it. Christian Kirk's out. Nico Collins is going to be missing, and it sounds like we're looking at who's going to rock for the Texans this week. Is it going to be Jaden Higgins, Xavier Hutchinson, or Jalen Noel? What do you think, Brendan?
I mean, Noel's the most exciting in my opinion. I want to see him kind of take off and take over in that position. But who's made me money in the past is Xavier Hutchinson. He's the kind of the third wheel of that group because you got the young studs. Hutchinson was that a couple years ago. He had some pretty solid games. Already has a decent rapport with Stroud. I would go with Hutchinson here. I'm serious. Either way, I don't like either of those guys. I'm just throwing that out there. CJ Stroud continues to suck. That's factual. Yeah.
I think the person that benefits the most here in this matchup, assuming that he's healthy enough to play, is going to be Dalton Schultz.
Yeah,
you look at the game last week, he had 10 targets, which is going to be huge. Similar to what Brendan said, Xavier Hutchinson probably slides into the X role. It should be the Jaden Higgins breakout. They spent that early second-round pick. He was one of the only second-round picks that didn't actually have to do a holdout because they immediately were like, hey, we're giving you a 4-year guaranteed contract. And they have nothing really to show for it this year. In that game, with all the injuries, he only participated in 57% of routes. He only had 3 targets. He's not really doing a whole lot. Didn't even have a single reception. So it'll be interesting to see. I think Noel is going to ultimately be out of the receiving group. But honestly, I would be looking elsewhere, or I would rather flex Dalton Schultz than play one of those guys.
Yeah, Joe, you hit it, man. I was going to even say that. And then see Mad Scientists in the chats too. Shout out to you, buddy. I'm right with you. I'm a big fan of flexing a tight end. If your receiver's in that position, go for a tight end that's sitting on the waiver wire. There's probably some guys that are going to get a hell of a lot more targets than them. So, and be more successful. So Dalton Schultz, he's probably going. I'm sure somebody already has him in your leagues, but you can look for some obscure guys that, they'll probably get you those points. For some reason, Juwan Jennings ended up back on the wire. I think that's because of Taysom Hill scared some folks. I would pick him up, get him in that lineup. He's due to have a pretty decent game and get that going again. So start a tight end if you can in a flex.
Not to keep piling on the Texans here, but I think this line's actually flipped the wrong way as well. So I have this game actually projected at -3 for San Francisco. So I will also be on this game as well. So I don't like any of those guys, as you guys were saying before.
Yeah, I guess if I had to pick one, like if I had to do if I had to reach and try to grab for a wide receiver, I'm going to go Jaden Higgins, and it's just because he's the most Nico Collins-like type of wide receiver in that group. Yeah. And if you're hoping for, I mean, Dalton Schultz, Joe, you nailed it. Is definitely by far my favorite out of the wide receiver or out of the receiving group for that team this week. If I just had to play one of those, I'm going to go Higgins. Let's see, got BHS Cardinal. I saw one of y'all's videos this week. It was a short Mike put out, I think, saying that Pickens is a sit. Do you agree? And who would you roll with, Higgins or Pickens? I imagine in this one, because the disparity between Jaden Higgins and George Pickens is so different, we're probably talking about T. Higgins and Pickens, because T seemed to get a bit more targets with the Flacco ran offense. So, Joe, where are you leaning here? You leaning Higgins or Pickens?
Yeah, so I have in my rankings right now, I have George Pickens at 13, T. Higgins at 14. So they're really neck and neck. I think the most interesting thing about this, if you look at the matchups for both, you have the Jets. We were expecting a Sauce Gardner show against Jamar Chase, but he's already been ruled out along with Garrett Wilson. I think the thing that scares me the most about T. Higgins right now is that how fast Cincinnati can just blow this game out, with the only offensive weapon that's in Madden right now being Breece Hall. Everyone else is just like creative players on the team that they're like trying to show up with, and Allen Lazard. From the Denver perspective, you would think that Surtain would be covering CeeDee Lamb. I think he's actually going to be playing a bit more on George Pickens. But I think that Dallas, like, they're playing such a good an offensive game right now. T. Higgins has been way more volatile, even with the additional coverage. I just like George that smidge bit more.
Yeah, I agree with you on this one, Joe. I think Pickens has clearly stepped up the last few weeks with CD going down, and now he's coming back, and he still looked good even with CD in that lineup. Ferguson still got some reps too. So I'm curious to see how Ferguson pans out. He's the only one I think that's really going to be hurt by CD returning. The target share is probably going to decrease, but Pickens is going to continue to roll the next few weeks. I was very down on him in the beginning, only because he and T. Higgins, in my mind, are in the same kind of boat, that you're either going to get 30 points or you're going to get 2. And Pickens has proved me wrong the last few weeks. So I would roll with Pickens' situation, only because of the volatility of T.
You know, definitely. And here's the thing: I don't think the Bengals are going to have to score a lot of points to win that game against the Jets. So
they need like one safety, and that's it.
Yeah, that's like a little bit of a stain. We're going to keep rolling through the questions. Over on Twitch, we got, hey man, should I trade Jamar Chase for Vidal, Wan'Dale Robinson, and Kyron? My team right now is Saquon, Mason, Jones. Got both JSN, Chase, Tet, Myers, with on my bench Travion, Pearsall, or Sharp, and mixing on IR. I'm not really worried about your running back group. I would rather have JSN and Chase in the wide receivers personally. Not Kyron. I think Kyron's been underwhelming. I mean, he's been fine, sure, but like it's not worth giving up Chase and everybody else in that. Like Vidal is a sell high right now, and that's what somebody's doing. Somebody is getting you to buy high on Kamani Vidal. You got to remember that the two guys that are gonna be there that long term are the ones that are hurt right now. So like, there's no long term value there. I don't know if this is redraft or dynasty, but definitely hanging on to Jamar Chase. He said, "I'm 6-1, by the way," which is a good.
Don't break a good thing, baby. Yeah.
Well, you look at that roster, it makes sense why he's 6-1. I think this might be a humble brag comment. If it is, I give you a good brag, buddy. That's a good team. I wouldn't break it up either. I love Chase is he's gonna continue to get better with Flacco there now. You don't have to worry about any of that Browning crap. So you got Flacco, and then Burrow comes back maybe, and you're money in the bank, man. I'm holding on to Chase and gonna get that 1-2 punch, like you said, JSN and Chase, high target share. big volume receivers that go up and make catches. So you're in a good spot, man. I wouldn't break
This
that
is
up.
a trade that you make if you're 3-4 and you're probably going to lose and you're going to be in a hole. Like that,
Yeah.
there's no way. Like you said, now that Flacco has taken over that offense, they're moving the ball. Chase's value is back up to where it was before the Burrow
Agree.
injury.
Agree.
It's three. You're basically getting 15 cents like on a dollar for no reason.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Keeping it moving.
We did have one. Yeah. Okay. Just make
Mad Scientist said, stream a dumpster fire tight end this week. What's really funny is 3 of these play for the same team. And so, you know, I guess the question is which Steeler is it going to be? And then is Taysom Hill worth a shot over any of them?
High upside for touchdowns, buddy. I'm going to let you take this one, Tyler, if you want to kick it.
No, I'm going to throw it to the Steelers fan.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Joe's got the Pittsburgh Steelers thing on the terrible talent on the wall. What's up, bro?
Yeah.
Give us
here's the thing. Taysom Hill, that New Orleans offense, like, don't mess with any of it. There's nothing in there outside of Chris Olave that is worth anything, and that includes Alvin Kamara. They forgot that they can pass him the ball. It's like a very weird thing. So what's interesting about the Steelers tight ends in the last 3 weeks, I love their matchup for one. So Green Bay in the last 3 weeks, let's see here. They've given up 18.2 points per game in half PPR. They've given up 23 points per game in the last 3 weeks in full PPR. That's the most against tight ends in the last 3 weeks. Yes, they played Ferguson. Yes, they played McBride. But even in Cincinnati, they had a good game that week with the tight ends too. So they're struggling at that position. I'm trying to pull up the stat here right now, but Pat Freiermuth is weirdly like insane in primetime games. Let me find the numbers real quick. My buddy, it's like basically Pat Freiermuth like has like 12 touchdowns in 20 primetime games like in his career, and then has like nothing else like outside of that. So give me a second. I'll find this tweet for it, and then I'll get back to you. But I think that Pat's going to be my guy. Jonnu Smith, he did score last week, but he just does. The ADOT is so small, and they're not doing a lot with it. Darnell Washington's probably going to be the safest floor, but I think that Pat's going to have another big game. It's just so in 9 of Pat Freiermuth's 20 TDs have come in primetime. So it's like it's a primetime game. Aaron Rodgers is going to be feeling himself. I think Pat finds the end zone again, so that would be my pick.
You got Mad Scientist said, Joe, I don't need advice with stats and numbers and common sense. Just tell me who has that dog in him.
Darnell Washington, buddy.
Darnell Washington.
Darnell Washington. He's that
Darnell
dog,
Washington
man.
has like 8 dogs.
Yes, it's like a jumbo package when he comes out tight end. He's just playing tight end. He could be in the slot, and it's all of a sudden.
But they also ran a screen with him. Yes, it did. It's Halloween themed, baby. Come on, show some respect.
We got Garlic Twitch over on Twitch. What's going on, y'all? Thanks for tuning in. Hit that like sub button. Cursed King is back. Oh, that's so true. He is plaguing people in leagues this year. Just still waiting on him to pop off. Got Joe over here on YouTube. Help. Who do I start in flex this week? Shaheed or Pacheco? Who's it going to be?
Joe, you said high praises about the Saints. Why would you didn't mention Shaheed at all? I think he's gotten a lot of targets there. What's the hatred towards him? He's not viable fantasy in your mind?
I don't think he's viable. I think that you're just hoping for a long touchdown with him. I actually like Rashid Shaheed a ton as a player, but if you look at the last 3 weeks, he's averaging 6.7 targets a game, which isn't terrible. His air yard share for the team, 34%. His expected fantasy points per game, 11.5. So that's not too bad, but you're really banking on the fact for him to put a long one out there. Middling matchup against Tampa Bay. They've given up 31 points per game in the last 3 weeks to Detroit, San Francisco, and Seattle. If we look at the matchup for Kansas City, Washington's a medium matchup as well. So 21.8 points per game to running backs in the last 3 weeks. That offense is kind of just a mess from the running back room.
Yeah.
I probably would lean Shaheed here. It's really like I hate doing this, but it's the way that I approach situations like this when you have 2 options of suck. Pacheco is probably going to score you 6 to 10 points, right? Shaheed will probably give you like 4, or he's going to give you 15. So if you are looking at the game and you're like, hey, like I just need a couple points to make sure that I don't lose, play Pacheco. Hope that he falls into the end zone. Hope that he like goes like full Cam Scatabo and just like bulldozing people like he did his rookie year. If you are down and you kind of need like a hero play, go after Shaheed in the flex. But if I have to choose one, gun to my head, give me Shaheed.
Okay, I'm with you on that. Brashard Smith's been used more often too in Kansas City, and that running back room is just a mess. I don't trust anybody in it right now.
What's up, Albert? Thanks for tuning in. Dan, what's your thoughts on? I mean, do you have a thought on either of those players going in with the? I mean, I think that Tampa Bay and New Orleans, I mean, you got that, or you got Kansas City trying to run the ball on Washington. I mean, who do you think is going to really carry that team? I mean, do we have a shot at a 40-yard touchdown from Shaheed this week? Or, I mean, I could definitely see New Orleans having to score points to win that game. What's your thoughts?
I actually think this Buccaneers-Saints game is not going to be that high scoring. I kind of lean towards, like, if you're looking for high scoring, more in that Chiefs and Commanders game, to be honest with you. I think that the Buccaneers are too beat up. I don't think the Saints are that good. I think that'll be a very low scoring game and maybe not great for statistical reasons.
Well, you got Baker coming out basically saying, I want to mess up the Saints. I'd love to hear that. He didn't say in those words, but he essentially said that. So this might be a little bit more energy coming out of the players here. I don't know how much else burn them, but that might be on the locker room wall right now for New Orleans.
Well, that'd be great. I need a good game from McBooth. For my wide receiver 2, should I play Josh Reynolds, Darnell Mooney, Tez Johnson, or someone else? This is like one of those Byemageddon things right here, right?
Yeah,
like,
it
this
is 100%.
You're having to make this choice: Josh Reynolds, Darnell Mooney, or Tez Johnson. To me, Reynolds is out. It's going to be a Mooney or Tez Johnson day, and they're similar to me. Do you lean any? Is there one that's above or below for you, Brendan?
Yeah, I like Tez. I like Tez only because of opportunities. You've seen Baker go to him in critical situations in the game, and he's come through. He's had some good catches in the mix of a lot of people. I think Tez is the right play here. Darnell Mooney, obviously, he's more like a Rashid Shaheed to me, where he could get you those low 5-6 points, and then he could go off for 30. So Tez is the guy, only because of situation and because of trust with the quarterback. And they need it. He's an opportunity with injuries around him where he's going to get more opportunities.
Let's see. Hopefully that answered the question. Yes, until you see tight end wire with McBride on it for Bye. That's crazy.
Yeah, I love that you said that. When I said flex, you just get a tight end. It was great.
Speaking of tight ends, Matthias said didn't ever want to start Gadsden. What a freaking open the like.
Oh, it
wasn't even just like a little bit. Pow!
I don't know if you saw it.
I was dumb. I actually was trying to basically in the betting world, if there's too much action on one side, go the other almost. That's kind of the way, where the money's going. You kind of sometimes want to look where the sharps are. And I thought maybe Gadsden's going to be like that. Everybody and their brother is talking about Gadsden. He's, maybe that 1 week was nothing. And literally I basically was like bet against him. That was one of my props last week on our show. So if you listen to our show, sorry if you follow me on that one. I was basically putting my foot down. I got rocked, man. It was under 3.5 catches. He had like 3.5 on the first drive. So it's like, damn, just take my money.
It does feel a bit unsustainable, though, just because if you think about that room, like it was astonishing to me that QJ didn't have a single target.
That was crazy. I agree. That's why I did it too, because of the target share. There's too many mouths to feed. And Vidal catches out of the backfield too. Haskins, he's hurt, but I had him coming out of the backfield. Those guys can catch. And then all of a sudden you got Keenan Allen just lighting it up. Lad McConkey, who dropped a big ball, by the way. That was crazy, that drop. That killed me on one of my props.
Yeah, it is funny, though, with Gadsden. I don't know if you've seen like the news with his dad. His dad has him on his fantasy team, but refuses to play him because he's worried that by doing that will jinx him and make him do poorly. So he's riding the bench. He's not coming into the lineup. That's the kind of parent that I am. I'm not superstitious, but I'm definitely a little stitious.
Yeah, right on.
So I'm gonna pop a comment that we got in the chat up here on this one. Mad Scientist said sell high on Gadsden, and Matthias answering right back. Mad Scientist doesn't watch games. Hey, look, here's the deal, and I'll cover this with this team because this is a Herbert issue. Okay, and this is why this is like it's a gamble, right? But is selling Gadsden is not crazy in a redraft format. And this is why. Justin Herbert tends to hyper target players for seasons, like for sessions. Like there's like 3 games where he's like QJ massively. Then there's like a few more games where it's Keenan Allen massively. There's a game where it's Ladd McConkey massively. There's a couple, and while he does spread the ball around, which gives you hope, right, that it's sustainable. And really with Gadsden, this is why I believe that it's a little bit more sustainable for Gadsden is the depth of target. The last 2 games, I mean, the average depth per target is like over 18 yards. Like last game, it was 15.4 yards. The game before that, it was 23.43. Like the catch, like every catch is like 3, 2.5, 3 points. So it's definitely sustainable. But I could see a sell high narrative where, you could. I mean, with how he's played 42 points in the last 2 weeks, that sell might bring you a significant buy low, especially like on a bye week. Like this week, if you were coming in, you're probably getting one of those, running backs with high upside. You might get a Quinshawn Judkins if somebody really needs a tight end. Maybe that's a little bit of a stretch, but
I would even go 1-to-1. I would target guys like Kittle. I mean, he's coming off the injury. People are probably sick of the injuries, and they might want to unload him. I can still see him being sustainable and being a tight end 1. I'm serious.
Yeah.
Week in, week out. I think people would trade him. They're getting sick of the injuries. They're getting sick of the inconsistencies. Guys in my leagues just trade him. So it's happening right there for bag of marbles. It was bizarre.
Yeah, and I think the top 2 guys are always going to be Ladd and Keenan. From a target perspective, that's essentially been the case all year. Gadsden in the last 2 weeks, he's gotten 8 targets per game, which is more than sustainable. I think the thing that people need to get out of their heads about the Chargers is that the people have this perception because of the past of Harbaugh and Roman that they're a run-first team. They're not. They're going to be throwing the ball a lot. Even when they have Hampton come back, they're still primarily passing the ball. They're throwing the ball like mad. So having the third option, if Gadsden can sustain that, that's going to be the big thing. If he ends up being the 4th target behind QJ, that's going to be a huge problem. But if he can be in that 3rd in the pecking order, he'll be more than fine. I think the attitude with the sell high really is you got this guy for free. If you have another serviceable enough tight end that's going to be somewhat comparable in points, you're not going to get as much out of the trade as you would. If you have no tight end and you just slotted him in, congrats. Like you played the waiver wire perfect. But now if you, for whatever reason, have him from like a bye week, you're sitting on a Trey McBride or you're doing whatever, don't go trade Trey McBride. Trey McBride's your A1. He's not going to lose value. He's going to maintain. We don't know what Gadsden's story is going to be for the rest of this year. So sell on the narrative there. So I think that's all that it comes down to with what Aaron was saying.
Yeah. So moving on that, even though there is a hard conversation going on in the chat, we'll get to that in a second. I just don't want to leave J-Dabs waiting for too long. J-Dabs in the chat, 12-team dynasty PPR top contender, looking for a top running back to complete the lineup. Which of these would you prefer? A 2026 first mid-late plus JCM for James Cook, or 226 first Olave plus JCM for Bijan? Dude, if I won a championship, I hate dealing first round picks. I hate dealing first round picks because I'm one of those. I watch my rookies, like I spend my picks well. I typically get significant value there. But if you can get Bijan, like that's the next 5 years.
I think that's a big underpay too, in my opinion. 220. Oh, 2. Never mind. I can't read. 226.
Yeah, no, it's
that's
two first.
I didn't
One
see
early,
2. I didn't see the word 2.
and one mid plus late. Olave and JCM for Bijan. It's heavy. It's heavy pay.
I'm not gonna lie, it's hard to read a trade offer in paragraph form. I'm used to seeing
I
right
ask
on
y'all
sleeper. Yeah.
What do y'all think if just like to break this down into pieces, right?
Mm-hmm.
The pivotal part for me in this trade, what is the value of Olave to you right now? Has he retained any of the, because 2 years ago before the whole concussion thing, oh, he can't stay healthy, like shut up. That's not like a thing. Like he got hurt like in one season, like the dude's a dog. Do you think that Olave is worth a first round pick or a first round pick plus? Because he was, before last year, he was in the tier of Garrett Wilson. And Garrett
maybe a late first, early second tops.
I would sell him for second.
2 first? No, I don't. I'm not paying that much for Olave. No way. What do you, Joe? I'm seeing him as like a late first tops.
No. I'm saying that's what it was like before last year.
Oh.
The value dipped. So like, where is his value now? Because if you think that Olave is a second, 2 firsts and 2 seconds for Bijan's not bad.
That's
if
a good
you
deal.
view him as a first plus,
Mm-hmm.
trading 3 firsts for a player like that's pretty much.
But it's Bijan.
Yeah. I think Tyler, you were getting to it. In the bottom line is if you can get Bijan in any capacity, you got to do that. I mean, there is such a few handful of elite running backs, and he has proven time and time again to be that guy. So build your team around Bijan. I don't trade often for running backs, but if a guy like Bijan is available, I'm making that move all day. My
counter argument to that is, one, if you're going to trade for a running back, wait as long as you can before you make that trade, just in case they get hurt or something.
Injuries, yeah.
Second, look how fast Jonathan Taylor's value depreciated after he was like running back 1, untouchable. Oh, like I would do anything for him. Going into this season, you couldn't trade Jonathan Taylor if you wanted to, and he's 26.
It's crazy. Well, it's the shelf life.
But that's just like with the running back life. Yeah, like Bijan's
Bijan's
hot right now. How long does that actually last? I don't know. Look at somebody like Todd Gurley. He was untouchable, then immediately value gone. Like that's so to me. Those like 3 first round plus picks. Like to me, I don't like making trades like that. I would rather take 1 first in JCM and go get Cook. That is a way more palatable deal for me.
Can the guy comment? Are you rebuild or are you contender? That's a big question.
He said he's a contender. He's a contender.
Yeah.
He's trying to win.
That. Yeah, I'm going for the win, Joe. What's money worth to you? That's the question. Is it worth? To me, it's worth a lot more than a couple years of shittiness. I'll take that win all day because that's going to pay for at least 12 years in my league. I'll do that all day.
I will say this: we have Cook, who's come off. It was 2 really rough games. Like he played New England, he played Atlanta. We've already talked about Atlanta's defense. Like they're on bye last week. This week he's got Carolina, probably a decent game. KC, then he's got Miami, probably a decent game. Towards the playoffs, here's the thing. In the playoff weeks, which is 15, 16, 17, he's got the Patriots that held him to 4.9 points. He has Cleveland, who has been killer on defense. And then he's got Philly, week 17. So I don't know that Cook gets me over the hump to win this year in the playoffs, where you got Bijan, week 15, Tampa Bay, you can run the ball. Week 16, Arizona, you can run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Week 17 is the Rams. It's a little bit of a different story, and they're a bit of a tougher defense, but it's Bijan. And Bijan hasn't been making his points running the football. He's been making the points catching it. So
right. And that's where you're losing sometimes with Cook, too, because they have Ty Johnson there, too. He's been getting more and more third down back roll, and I don't like to see that because I like Cook. I think he's a good receiver out of the backfield, but, they love Ty Johnson there.
Yeah. So hopefully that answers your question. I mean, there's 2 different takes. I definitely believe James Cook is cheaper, and that's a value. He got a contract. He's cheaper. Sure, the value in Dynasty is there. You don't have to pay as much.
Mm-hmm.
I in a trade, typically I want the best player. And when I'm looking at a roster where I've got Amon-Ra, I've got Egbuka, I've got Devontae Adams, I've got Adunze, Egbuka and Adunze are going to carry you the next, they're definitely rolling out. Olave is dispensable. You know what I mean? I don't know what your running backs look like. JCM is probably dispensable. It's really the 2 first round picks, and your team is not old. Like you don't have an elderly team. And if you get Bijan, you get a young top 3 running back consistent, right? So you don't need to spend those draft picks on maybes. You've got a young top 3, guy. So it's just my thoughts there.
So how long do you think Bijan can sustain this type of performance? Another 4 years?
3 years.
4 years?
3 years. I think 3 years is a lock, and that's pending a huge injury. And knocking on
and
everything I paid. I have so much shares of him. Holy shit! I'll knock on anything I can. But yeah, I think 3 years.
Dynasty in 3-year chunks, because so much can change in the course of it. But it's like, if this is your 3-year window to compete, fine, go for it. But to answer one of the questions in the chat about James Cook, his contract that he signed, he's good through 2029.
Yeah, I think he realized that too after he actually came back with that. So
J-Daz, appreciate the love. Hit the like and sub on the stream. Share the link out. More questions the better. We're going to try to cover the content. And so getting back up here to the Gadsden sell high thing, and I just want to kind of cover Matthias and Mad Scientist are going at it in the chat, which is fun. And sometimes
can we do our next show at their boxing match?
I mean, I'm in. And the funny thing is, they're both sly like trolls, like Mad Scientist will definitely let you know when he doesn't like a take, and Matthiasen will definitely let you know when he doesn't like a take, which is cool. Like, we're here for it. Keep bringing it, it's fun. But we got, let's see, Selheim. He said, Mad Scientist doesn't watch games. Gadsden is all pro and would have scored more if the Vikings were more competitive. Mad Scientist says 900 mouths to feed, which is true. They've got a lot of wide receivers on that team, and Harbaugh loves to run the rock. And Matthias said they haven't run all year. Clearly doesn't watch ball.
You know what, though? If they keep having,
I think he was being sarcastic. I think he was being sarcastic there, because obviously, if you watch the game, we all know Harbaugh ran the shit out of the ball.
Yes, but Vidal got 23 carries.
He changed his whole. And if you watched last year too, Tyler, you're right. He did lean towards the pass, but I think it took till about week 10 for him.
Well, that was because of the foot injury that Herbert had, I think.
Right. But I'm just saying that is the Harbaugh way of life. It kind of trends on which players are doing well. Kind of what Joe said, almost like how Herbert likes to target the guys that he's connecting with at that current moment. Harbaugh's kind of the same way when it comes to his coaching strategy. I've seen the game trends where they're going to be successful running the ball. He's going to run the ball. And if you watch the Prime View or whatever the hell it's called on the AWS View, I don't know what it is, but I love that. And every now and then he'll come in and he'll throw some statistics in, one of which was by the third quarter, they had run the ball and shown more run. I think it was 69% of the plays showed run. Every play, you're thinking, 3/4 of the play showing run, you're throwing that defense off. They have no idea what's happening. And Herbert was effective. Obviously, Vidal had the game of his life. But yeah, it's a fun conversation, and you guys were trolling each other, but I think they are going to start running the ball again. I think that play action came alive, and they needed to break off from last week. They looked 2 weeks ago, if you know what I mean. They looked like shit. So, like bad.
Go ahead, Dan.
I'm not so sure that I'm sold that they're going to start running the ball. I think it was more about the Vikings than it was about them changing things up. I'd have to see at least another week or so of this type of strategy that they used last night.
Yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, it's a game script thing. You look at the games where they haven't run the ball, they've typically been playing from down, right? The games where they're pretty much
he starts firing at the beginning of the games. He was firing at the beginning of the games, Tyler. If you watch even the first, if you rewatch a couple of the games, the first few weeks, he was coming out firing. They were barely running. I had Hampton on all my teams. I'm like, give him the ball, please.
Right? And they did. What was Hampton's carries?
Najee Harris and Hampton, and then Najee he was a pirate at one point. It's been crazy, that running back room. But now, yeah. Go ahead,
first game, Hampton got 15 carries as RB2, right? It's not like we can't get. It's not like. I think because they have thrown more than you traditionally see in a Greg Roman, offense, you're like, oh, wow. Nobody was expecting, you look at all pre-draft, Joe, how many times on this show are people like, oh, steer away from Lab McConkey? And it wasn't because Lab McConkey wasn't going to be productive. They were like, it's Greg Roman. They're going to run the football. Like, it's just going to be running. They got Amari Hampton and Najee Harris. Like, they're going to run the football. And then game one, right, they come out in like the first drive. It's like throw. And everybody's like, what the heck's going on, right? And so I think that it's exponentiated by the fact that, it wasn't what was expected, like,
let me give you some numbers here real quick, Tyler. So overall, the Chargers are throwing the ball more than any team in the league right now.
100%. Herbert's averaging like maybe 38 to 40 attempts per game.
Yeah. So they're throwing the ball 65% of the time overall. In neutral situations, they are throwing the ball 65% of the time. If they're up by 7 or more, they're still throwing the ball over 50% of the time. And if they're trailing, they're throwing the ball 80% of the time. It's insane.
I understand.
It's not what anybody expected, but I don't think they're going away from that. Like, we've seen enough games, like, they're throwing the ball.
No, 100%. The question is, and the answer is obviously yes. Even if they're throwing the ball, can a Chargers running back be viable for you? Can it be a viable start? Yes. And so, like, in this question, really, like, it doesn't matter passing, throwing, whoever. If Gadsden's catching the ball, like, multiple receivers this week, including Gadsden and McConkey, were all serviceable. Alongside a running back was also serviceable. So, maybe they're both on each side of the argument, and both sides have validity. Chargers are obviously their offense is rolling. So keeping rolling. Matthias said, "Oh, I can do it too. Too many mouths to feed. San Francisco has Jennings, Ayuk, Pearsall, Bourne. Like,
oh, they all playing this week?
No, this is what
we're talking about a troll. Sorry, Matthias. I don't know you, man. I'm just giving it back a little bit. I love the banter. I want to see this going more.
I wanted to pull up a question that we got on Twitter, but I just want to let you know that the Toronto Blue Jays just hit a grand slam and they're up 9-2 on the Dodgers, and that's
crazy
on the inside, like something wild. So we had a question on our Twitter page today. I'm trying to find it, X, whatever that thing is. Let's see. So here we go. So we got a pick one. Bill Krosky, Merritt versus Kansas City. Tej Johnson at New Orleans. Matt Golden at Pittsburgh. Who do y'all like?
Say it one more time.
So you got Bill against the Chiefs. You got Tej Johnson against the Saints. And then you got Matthew Golden against Pittsburgh. So you got to pick one.
Well, what's Bill? How many carries did Bill get last week? How many targets? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head.
Here, I can pull it for you.
Give me some numbers, because I think I think I'm going with Bill.
He had 13 carries. He had 2 targets.
So you already have 15. Yeah, you're at 15 targets essentially. You want to look at this. The guy's going to touch the ball 15 times a game. He's been getting more and more opportunities. Obviously, that backfield is just trying to get anything to stick. You can't run on Kansas City, correct? But we've all seen Bill catch out of the backfield too. Chris Rodriguez coming back from an injury. I'd go with Bill. I think that's the best bet. You've seen the speed. He can, if he can break one, you got a touchdown there. So can he get past the Kansas City front line? Who knows? But once he gets in that secondary, he can outrun him. So I'm Bill all day there. I think I do like Tej Johnson. I've told you this before. We had that earlier, but that was kind of a layup in regards to who he was up against. But in this situation, only because of opportunity, I'm going with Bill. I think he's going to get a few more points than Tez.
Yeah. So, Joe, I got to ask you, because the narrative shifts a little bit here for me. Or really, Dan, I can throw this to you. I hear a lot of people saying, like, Green Bay's obviously not they're a pretty tough defense. Rodgers is going back. They're talking about a revenge game. They're talking about a lot of points. Are you buying that, or are you thinking it's a defensive game?
No, I actually I don't think that Pittsburgh's going to show up. I think that Green Bay is going to win this game quite easily, and I think what we saw out of Pittsburgh that first month of the season, it was pretty lucky. Sorry, Joe. I don't mean
Joe's going to mute you
to be the bad guy. Yeah, but that's how
you're going to be in the
feel.
chats with you're going to be in the chat with Matthias and soon.
This is like, hold on.
Yeah,
This
FF
is
Bid
crazy.
Scientist. It's going to be great to have Dan in there too. Throw him in there.
Look,
You're not gonna
here's the
show up.
issue. This is what you, I mean, and this is why I'm asking. Golden's averaging the last like 4 games double-digit points, low double-digit points, but double-digit points. You look at Krosky Merritt. He in the last 4 games, he's had 1 game in double-digit points. He had 1 blow-up game. It was 27 points. He had 17 carries. He had a bunch of reception, or he had a couple receptions, 2 touchdowns, or he had 14 carries, 2 touchdowns. He had a big game. He had that big long run, 2 touchdowns. But out of those 4 games, that's the only game he scored in. The rest have it. And last week he had 2.5 yards per carry, right? So like you go, okay, so I'm going 3 games in single digits, 1 in double digits, or you look at Golden and you got the opposite. You got 3 games in double digits, 1 game in single digits. Is there? That's why I think it leans more. And Dan, I wanted to hear your point on whether or not you think there's a lot of points scored in this game, because if we believe that the Packers could play from behind, or there could be a little bit of a back and forth, I think Golden probably wins that ticket, right?
I think
Washington's just going to be in the game. It's going to be without Jaden Daniels. Kansas City's going to own it. Like, to me, it's that simple. I mean, what do you thought? What do you think?
Give me Tez, man. Why we're wasting our time with Bill? Like,
I'm not big on Bill. You know that, Joe. We talked about that. Actually, the last time I was on the show, we talked about trading Bill because he was
you want Tez
primed.
I
like
Tez.
Tez. I think in this game, in this situation, I'm going with Bill. I really am, only because of opportunity. I think Tez is the man, but Emeka's still playing this week. He's not out. And K. Dotton's still getting those catches. I really like I think in this situation, I don't really like him, but I'm going with Bill over Tez just because he can break that long. He's also got 2 targets come out of the backfield last week. He's getting targets out of the backfield, so he can get some catches there. And by the way, Matthew Golden, I was very high on him at the beginning of the season. He's catching balls that are thrown at him. He only had 4 targets last week, though. So yeah, he can break a big one and catch some good long passes, but you're dependent upon them.
I would rebuttal the Jacory, like the JCM targets out of the backfield, though. Like, I mean, he's the most targets that he's gotten in a game is 2. Period.
Okay.
Like all season. So like I wouldn't say he's getting a ton of targets they're looking. I think that when they start throwing the ball, it's somebody else. But I mean, sure, touches are there. And if you want touches, if you want to make sure you're not trying to survive off 4 receptions or 5 receptions during the week, you want to go, because I mean, Krosky Merritt could break a big one any given second. Do I think that happens against Kansas City? I don't know. But to keep rolling, hopefully that answers your question. Sounds like Joe says Tez. Dan, do you say Tez?
Yeah, that's fine with me. I guess. I mean, my whole thing is like I don't know. I just don't see a lot of scoring in that game either. I don't know.
So neither. Find somebody else. Find some. No. I mean, just
Tez makes more sense. But yeah.
All right. So the Mask Fantasy. Thanks for tuning in. Hit that like and sub. Appreciate the love. PPR just traded Pollard for Worthy.
Great
Have to choose a flex between Kraft, Worthy, and Tez Johnson. Man, Tez is Byemageddon's hero. He is everywhere.
Yeah.
Have Warren at tight end. If you think Kraft should, have Warren at tight end if you think Kraft should start all over him. So out of these 3, Joe, Kraft, Worthy, Tez, who you playing in your flex?
All right, so it is National Tight End Week, despite the fact that like everybody and their mother that was a tight end decided to score last week. They kind of jumped the gun a little bit. But I'm starting both of these tight ends here. Yes, we've been talking about Tez Johnson quite a bit, but he's still a secondary target. I like what Brendan said about K-Dot, and he's going to be a top 12 tight end play this week. Worthy, we've already seen that Rice is taking over with limited snaps. His role is going to continue to somehow increase. Worthy is going to return to that boomer bust play that he saw his rookie year. I have a lot of concerns about that. Kraft is going up against the Steelers. The Steelers are giving up 23 points in the last 3 or 20. Where are they? 14.7 points in the last 3 weeks. They got slaughtered by Noah Fant last week, so I don't really have a lot of confidence in what they're doing. Tyler Kraft is the only player on the Green Bay passing side of the ball that I feel comfortable starting week in, week out. I think that he finds the end zone this week, and there's no way that you're not playing Tyler Warren right now because he is a pivotal point of that Colts offense. So give me both of the tight ends.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one, Joe. I don't have any more to comment on that. You hit everything, man.
Well, Garlic Twitch is saying, dear God, I need Kittle not to get 0. So hopefully National Tight End Week will roll out. And the tight ends, I mean, I don't hate that. Kraft had, 10 targets last game, 5 catches and a touchdown. Definitely some high upside there. That it's good for me. And Rashee Rice got targeted like crazy. Worthy was an afterthought. So
he's back. Yeah, you weren't kidding.
All right, let's see. Legacy, I'm in a tough spot this week. Thanks for tuning in. Hit that like and sub. Appreciate you. I have Puka and Nico, and I need a replacement. Pick 2, Adunze, Coleman, or Mooney. I think Adunze is automatic here.
Yeah,
it's really, do you want Coleman or Mooney?
I'm going to lean towards Coleman. I don't know what to do with this one. This is a tough spot to be in. I think Coleman has more upside just because he's had those games already, and Allen's still looking his way when he's on the field. It's just not on as much as I'd like to see lately. So I like Coleman. I'm going to stick with Coleman. He has the talent to do it if he gets the targets.
This is tough.
Yeah.
Carolina's been a pretty tough matchup for wide receivers. They've only given up 25.6 points per game in the last 3 weeks. Granted, they did get to play the Jets last week, so that's always going to help with everything. But really all year, their defense has been pretty stout in keeping them in games. I don't have a lot of faith in Keon Coleman. He is more of like a garbage time king, and I'm not expecting the Bills to be in a garbage time situation this week. I'm going to lean Darnell Mooney. There's something about him that whenever he plays, it like space jams Drake London, and Drake London becomes like half as effective as he could be. But he was pretty much right there for the team leading target and yards in his first game back. I think that he's going to have a better performance, and I also think he's less likely to flop where Keon could put up 0 to 2 points and you would.
I agree with that. He's definitely a huge bust candidate, but
I mean, it's there. I mean, he is a bust candidate. I mean, outside of week 1, the last 5 weeks, like despite 60s or 75% snap share, like he's yet to get out of single digits. Now Mooney hasn't been out of single digits all year, but he was close last week. 5 targets, just had 3 catches. A lot of that'll depend on who's starting at quarterback, I feel like personally. But I mean, either one of I would honestly look for somebody else. Like if Tez Johnson is on waivers, I'd rather start him over Coleman or Mooney, or
if he's in any of the leagues with these guys, Tez Johnson is not available. Just want to throw that out there.
Matthiasen said Pittsburgh won't win. Aaron Rodgers is going to win 42-17.
That's crazy because I was definitely on the mad scientist side, but I think I flipped my vote to Matthiasen after this latest comment. So I agree with everything you said. He probably doesn't watch ball.
Points for Matthiasen. Look, I see a lot of narratives. I personally, I have a couple leagues. Like my dynasty league, I needed a quarterback this week. So I dished Hassan Haskins a week ago at on the shot that he may get some carries, and I got Aaron Rodgers. and I was planning because
touchdowns.
I had of course then he goes off the next week, which was great for me. I definitely won that week significantly. But I was like, man, I need somebody dish off Haskins, get that, this week I've got to play him because my other 2 quarterbacks are both on bye. So I've got to play Aaron Rodgers. So I'm hoping for a big game. I'm hoping for a 42-17. I'm hoping for 3 to 4 touchdowns. Let's go. I'm also rolling with Darnell Washington in the Scott Fish Bowl in one of my spots. So I'm hoping big man gets in the end zone this week. But, you know,
that score might be right.
I could also leave very.
All right, get Daniel off the stream. I can't do
it. Dan's like, thanks for having me.
Yes.
It just goes dark.
You will see on Twitter after the show that I have blocked you. So
Legacy said, does he answer questions here or someone else's channel? I don't know the answer to that question.
No, he had asked his question earlier, and I think it's because he hadn't gotten to it. That was a slight troll, and it was pretty funny.
Look, I try to roll as fast as I can. If you want to jump all the questions, if you want to be prioritized, super chat. I don't care if it's $2. You super chat, we go to your question immediately. And thank you. We appreciate the support. Much love.
Anything above 10, Tyler will take off one article of clothing.
I can't be doing all that. Yeah, just my hat. All right.
The part about that is that he wears 10 individual socks for each of his toes, so it takes a while.
Oh yeah, because my feet are so big. All right. Do you trust a Mariota-led offense?
I don't trust the Commanders' offense this season. I haven't been too thrilled with what I've seen. Have you guys been blown away by this offense? I think I don't know.
It's better when Jaden's on the field. But
there's no question. Yeah, there's no question. I'm not arguing that. But
the offensive line has got to get him a little bit more time. He's getting beat up. He's having to run too much. And, they also dished off probably the best blocking running back out of the whole crew, which also affects how much time Jaden has. I don't think that they planned for that to be such a tough thing for them to have a running back that can block. They lost Eckler. Eckler could block a little bit. They lost that B-Rob. They shipped him out. He could block. And then now they're left with these little guys, and they're just not blocking well.
I could argue, too, with the injury of McLaurin, we haven't really seen the full offense at full swing.
No, I agree with you. Yeah, you're right.
So it's tough.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Like, with those guys coming back, right? Like, is there a chance that they look completely different?
Yes.
I think they need
100%.
one more week, though, to get them up to speed.
The only startable player in that offense week by week, and obviously got to play Jaden Daniels if you have him, and now it's become kind of a who is he playing opportunity kind of conversation, which is weird to have about Jaden Daniels going into the season. But Zach Ertz, man, Zach Ertz been consistent as heck. I've played him in a lot of leagues for that flex position on wide receiver needy teams, and I'm like winning. So it's bizarre that the old man's kicking butt over there, and we'll see what happens. But Zach Ertz seems to be always reliable. He's getting his 5 to 6 targets, getting his 4 catches, getting a touchdown here and there, and he's good for like 45 yards a game. He really is.
I wouldn't play him with Mariota, but him and Jaden are like lockstep. That's like his trusted option every time.
Did he play with Mariota in Philadelphia? Wasn't Mariota in Philly when Ertz was there? Or no, Ertz was out there by then. That was Goddard still.
Yeah.
So we missed this last part of Legacy's question. He said Penix or Flacco this week. Look, Flacco has not had the weapons that he has in Cincinnati. If I'm the Browns, after that performance, they ship him out and he starts for the Bengals and just absolutely crushes. I mean, like Pittsburgh, 40 yards, 3 touchdowns. Like, I'm definitely not. I mean, sure, Penix has Miami. I'm rolling with Flacco against the Jets, especially with Sauce on the edge.
Sauce ain't playing. They confirmed it already.
Yeah, he's out.
So there it is. Flacco is king this week.
Joey Flack the Dawn, man. He's timeless. Dude,
that game was so amazing. Like, I'm telling you, I did not expect the Bengals-Pittsburgh game to be what it was. I sat there and watched it, and I was like, these two old guys just out here battling right now.
That was cool.
Now, as long as freaking the tackle for the Steelers doesn't squash Aaron Rodgers and re-break his collarbone, it should be competitive.
That was fun. I'd like to see Rodgers get up and yell at him. That was awesome. They had to pull Rodgers away. was awesome. He was so
He
mad.
was pissed, dude. All right. With that, he says, who remembers week 1 when I said Egbuka? Look, Egbuka's been electric. Gibson's out. Stevenson's been good. And we all know Mike Vrabel hates to let rookies roll.
I don't even remember the first question he asked today, let alone a comment that he made in week 1.
He was saying that there was a guest on the show that said Stevenson and Gibson would be, I guess.
He's saying that he said that Egbuka had less obstacles than Henderson, and then basically that the person on the show said that Stevenson and Gibson were not obstacles, and that they were wrong, and that Mathiasen knows everything and we should kiss his feet.
Mathiasen is awesome. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you filling our stream with chats.
Did you ever watch the movie Goon?
Yes.
The movie Goon with Sean William Scott, and the guy always calls in about the hot dogs. Is this your Mathiasen? Is this the hot dog guy? Mathiasen. By the way, I'm enjoying every bit of his comments. I'm sorry. I know he's a regular. You seem like a great guy, Mathiasen. This is entertaining to have you in these comments. So,
so Garlic Twitch said, I feel your pain. I have Nico Ridley and JMO. Obviously, tons of this year has been crazy. Outside of buys, it feels like there's been more injuries this year and more significant players missing time. It has been, I know I have had teams slaughtered. Like I went heavy running back and it has obliterated me because everybody has gotten smashed and beat up. Bucky Irving, or they've underperformed. Chase Brown has been abysmal for where you drafted him. Once Travion had that crazy preseason, he just hasn't been able to get his opportunities. And, you're like, oh, I took him in the 5th round or 4th round, which we said on the show, if you got him when all that happened, you got him in like round 9, round 10. That's a better buy. But once he shot off at the end of the preseason, then you were having to get him a buy 4. And Joe, I remember you saying it very blatantly on the show. That's just too rich for that. And so it's just been a crazy year when it comes to that. CKXPRS in the chat, currently 5-2. Congratulations, buddy. You're that much closer to the playoffs. Should I take Bucky and Pacheco for Jalen Warren, Ferguson, and Downs? Kind of need running backs since I'm rocking Genty, Etienne, and Warren right now.
I say yes. Getting Bucky back, that's
Bucky,
season changing in my mind.
I would rather have Ferguson and Warren, honestly. I don't want Pacheco. Pacheco's been
Downs and Pacheco are nothing in this trade to me.
I agree.
It's really
I
Bucky
agree.
for Warren and Ferguson. And
I'm going with Bucky. Yeah, I like Ferguson, but I think his production is. I don't know how sustainable it is. You think he's going to continue to put up numbers like this? Dallas
I think the person whose targets is going to deteriorate the most is going to be George Pickens. The thing is that George Pickens, he's still going to be fine because he is like a deep play guy, and he's so good at tracking the football that he'll still get his.
Okay.
Look, this offense, I want Dak. I want all the pass catchers. I'm literally rolling. I
want everything.
You look
give me a guard.
You look at last week, like a lot of times you go like, oh, how can all of them survive? CD goes off for 5 catches, 110 yards and a touchdown. Freaking George Pickens looked, incredible.
Right.
Tracking the football, had several long catches. Jake Ferguson has not had has had. Let me read off the last 6 games for Ferguson, and I don't know if this is maybe a tight end premium, so maybe it's a little bit inflated, but you got 21 points, 9 catches for 78 yards. You got 27 points, 13 catches for 82 yards. You got 20 points, 7 catches for 40 yards and a touchdown. Next game, 7 catches, 49 yards and 2 touchdowns. Next game, worst game of the season, pretty much 3 catches, 33 yards and a touchdown. Last week, alongside George Pickens' double-digit point game, alongside CD's 24-point game, he still had 7 catches for 29 yards and 2 touchdowns. Yes, it's touchdown dependent, but he's had freaking 6 touchdowns in the last 4 games. I don't know that. Bucky's obviously a significant value. I'm not going to take that away. Bucky's a significant value. But, you go, okay, well, what's Bucky's, what's it going to look like? Well, Jaylen Warren went for 127 yards last game. He had 4 catches for 31 yards. Like, is it sustainable? I don't know. But he's been in double digits every single week except for one. And they don't have anybody else.
Who is your other tight end, right?
That's what I'm thinking, Joe. Exactly.
A points per game basis, Bucky has put up 18 a game.
Yeah.
Warren has put up 14.5. So you're getting a 3.5 point difference. I would say that's a pretty good swing to say that you're going to make that deal.
His other guy's Kincaid too. I say make the trade. Get Bucky. I like that. I listen.
Kincaid's
I love Ferguson.
Close to Ferguson.
He's not. I'm not saying he's Ferguson. I never said that. I'm saying.
Well, no. What I'm saying is you get a 3.5 point upgrade
to
go from Warren to Bucky in your roster spot, right?
Oh no. Warren and Bucky. Warren's what? What's he averaging a game? It's not. He's not.
So
15
okay.
points a game.
So Ferguson is at 17.2 points per game, and Kincaid's at 13.3. So that's 3.9 points, and you're getting 3.5 from Bucky. So technically, you're losing a half a point. So you're betting on. Do you think that Warren continues out for the rest of the year? And is Pacheco going to make enough of a
difference?
I that's why I think Bucky and Pacheco is the way to go here. And especially hearing that he has Kincaid as his backup. If Kincaid can stay healthy, he's finally getting part of that offense. I listen. I'm not denying Ferguson. He's stud status right now. There's no question. But
I probably would take the Bucky side. I'm
all right. Yeah. Yeah, I like
it. It's a tough one though.
It is tough. That's a very tough question. It's a great question.
Yeah, I do love the trade. I mean, I love when trades are close like that. That lets you know, you're right there.
Yeah, both sides win in that situation.
All right, over on Twitch, Garth said for first year, both leagues I'm in. I decided not to do no trade. I'm 1-13 combined. Rough year for you, brother. Heart goes out to you.
Enjoy that first round pick, though, baby. Come on.
Yeah, I know it's coming, right? DeHondro is Sutton, Sharp, Addison, and Brock Purdy too much for CD or not enough?
Are we talking dynasty or what's happening?
I imagine this is a redraft.
Because that's all right. So
I always want the best player in the trade. I want CD. I'm good with that. I can feel it.
Well, Charbonnet is a backup who falls into the end zone sometimes. Addison has looked pretty solid. Brock Purdy, he's gonna be a low end QB1. Give me CD all day. But if the person that's trading you is doing the 4 quarters for $1 thing, you always want the dollar.
Always want the dollar. Joe, do you play in a lot of survivor pools, or Brennan, do you?
No, I do not.
I mean, I run one, yeah.
Okay.
So you have a little bit of knowledge.
For you. Matthias said top 3 survivor pool plays this week.
All right. So number 1 is going to be obvious. You might have used them already earlier in the season, but that's going to be Indianapolis versus Tennessee. They're a 14-point favorite. Go win the week. Number 2, we talked about a little bit. Daniel was on board with this one too, so I'm sure he'll be tailing. Atlanta has the 7.5 over Miami, so I would take that one at number 2. Number 3, you probably have them on here. I would imagine you have Atlanta as well because they haven't been heavily favored a lot. The other one that I would take is Cincinnati against the Jets. That would be my number 3 play.
Dan, you in agreement? You have any other ones you want to throw out?
No, I think those are all pretty safe there. The one that I think, I don't know. It's just Monday night. I kind of lean the Chiefs as well, but I could see that game going sideways as well. With the Commanders maybe getting a little bit healthier. I know Mariota's playing, but we'll see what happens there.
So can you give him one more game that you maybe roll with in case he's played one of those teams Joe mentioned?
I would say one other one that I like would be.
Don't say Green Bay.
No, I know. I was thinking about it. I'm not. I do like the Bills, but I think if I was betting the game, I'd be betting points on the Panthers, but I think the Bills will win that game.
There you go. Hopefully that helps. That helps. Mad Scientist said Indy, Cincy, Atlanta.
Yeah, so we're right on the same page there.
I think Indy might be the team you didn't take yet because most people took Cincy early because there was the hot name.
They had their
Actually, if these people are still in it, they probably didn't take Cincy early.
I actually
still in it. You have Cincy available, if you want to use it.
Yeah.
Matthias and said, "Oh, look a little humble." He said, "Thanks. I started QJ in a couple leagues, so I don't know everything. Glad to have you in the stream, brother."
Hell yeah, man.
Always
It's always a fun. It's like if you get like the thing about fantasy football is like no one is ever going to be right all the time. And if you get mad when you're wrong and people are like, hey, you were wrong, like just like stream it, but like don't broadcast it. Cause like it's just like it's part of it. And you just own it. And you say, yeah, I messed up. And then everybody's like, yeah. And then you move on. But if you like make this big scene, then like, yeah, of course everybody's going to flame you for it.
You got Garlic Twitch. My first round picks were the following: Nico and Neighbors. Man, you're hurting.
Yeah, that'll do it.
That's rough.
That'll do
That's
it for
rough.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I lost Neighbors in the league, and it's just broke my heart.
Me too. And it was
He
an
carried
option
me.
league.
He carried me last year.
See, it's not too much if you can afford to give up depth.
Yeah, I think
Mad Scientist also said he likes Tampa Bay. Hey, look, we ran through. We got there. It's 10:05. I lost track of time. I didn't realize we were after 10. So boom, there it is. Wow, Friday night done. Just real quick, guys. Let's run around. Man, is Joe running fantasy receipts? Let's run around. I guess Brennan, Daniel. You guys know where to find me and Joe every Friday night. You know where to find our content over at the Fantasy Sports Advice Network. Brendan, Dan, let the audience know where they can find you, where they can come listen to you live or check out your content. Brendan, start off. Dan, you follow up.
Yeah, you can find us on Twitter. I'm at bshells13. Dan's at dambrose04. He'll tell you the same thing. But we do a show called Stardom Bedham Fantasy Football. It's kind of the goal is fantasy meets gambling. So we get into props bets. I'm big heavy in props bet. Dan makes just horrible comments to put me down. And in addition to that, he gives his picks of the week with actually lines. So he loves the games. I love the players. So we go into that and we use pretty good analytics and we have a good time. So check it out. We're on every major streaming platform at Stardom Bedham Fantasy Football. And Tyler's got the link. He's going to throw it out there too. You can also find it on either of our Twitters. Dan, you got something else you want to talk about though? Tell them about the other thing.
Oh yeah. So I also do a podcast, just a quick one. It's usually about 9-10 minutes long. And I just go over my picks for the week, both on the NFL and college side. Don't try to drag it out with a lot of commentary and noise. Just get to the point and move on. So NFL has been going quite well this season, so it's been good.
Yeah, we post our picks too. There's no bull crap about it. You can follow us on Pickit, the Pickit app as well, so you can see all of our bets in real time. So if receipts, if you were looking for them, we got them. They're on our page, and you can always message us what we're doing that week too. We'll happily respond and tell you, so you can be miserable with us.
Love it. So make sure y'all go check out their content. Link will be in the comments. Again, appreciate you guys coming on. It's always a pleasure, always fun. Dan, this is your first time on. Brennan, your second time. It was a blast. Joe, missed you last week.
Sorry, man.
Glad
15-year high school reunion for my wife. You know, we had to throw it down.
There you go.
Oh my God. I can only imagine what karaoke shenanigans happened.
Did you pull out apple bottoms jeans again, Joe? Did you do the apple bottom jeans again?
No T-Pain this time.
That was fire.
All right, guys. So you know where we are every Friday night, 9:00 Central. We'll see you next week on From the Forum. Have a good week. We hope you have a beast week 8 and pick up that dub. Later.
We are here. FantasySportsAdvice.com, offering the best fantasy sports social media platform. Why join endless Discord communities or the trolls of Reddit? Fantasy Sports Advice is a community designed to help you win with 24/7 support. Go to FantasySportsAdvice.com and become a pro member for unlimited access. Again, go to FantasySportsAdvice.com.